Bonjour classe, bonjour, and welcome back to French. All right, guys, so today we have our en classe vocabulary. En classe vocabulary, a lot of you guys can be very, very familiar with much of this vocabulary simply because we went over some of it last year. And if you're new, luckily, the vocabulary is kind of pretty simple as far as like the relation between English and French. So we're going to go through the pronunciation of these, and you are going to answer some questions as we go. All right, so the first one we're going to go through, let's get through all of these picture ones first. We'll go through the picture ones first because sometimes we forget about those bad boys. So let's go through the picture ones first. The one up top here is called une horloge. Une horloge. Une horloge is obviously, it's our clock. And you'll find that most things that have to do with time are going to be feminine, just so you know. Then we've got une carte, and this is a map. This is a map of France. We also have, we'll go scroll down just a little bit. We'll go down here. We have une chaise, une chaise, une chaise, and that is a chair. We have une élève or une étudiante, and then we have un élève and un étudiante. Un étudiant. Then we have une feuille de papier, une feuille de papier. That is a sheet of paper, une feuille de papier. Une corbeille à papier. And this could just be une corbeille, and then they have the à papier in parentheses here. You don't have to have the à papier part. Une corbeille. Un stylo, a pen. Un cahier, a notebook. Une fenêtre, a window. Une fenêtre. And then un livre, un livre. Un dictionnaire, that one is easy, super easy. Then we have un crayon, and we have un sac à dos, and that is a backpack. Un crayon is a pencil. You see the pencil, you barely see the pencil that's in his head, which I don't know if many people wear their pencils in their heads anymore. Anyway, moving on. All right, in our vocabulary section over here, let's zoom into that bad boy. We're going to zoom into our vocabulary here. There it is. We have the vocabulary qui est. So repeat after me. Répétez après moi. Qui est? And then we have quoi, which is, as you know, my favorite word. Quoi. Then we have une calculatrice. Une calculatrice. And that's going to be easy to remember as well, just from the cognate factor. The fact that it is recognizable basically because it's the English is so similar. Then we get une montre, and that is a watch. Okay. Une porte, and that's a door. I think of une porte as what's a way that you could remember une porte? Think about what port is in English. Un résultat. You will get your résultat from your examen soon. Une salle de classe, a classroom. Une camarade de chambre, And let me go ahead and highlight the whole thing here. Let's delete that. Une camarade de chambre. This is one vocabulary word. Une camarade de chambre is a roommate. Chambre, think of chambre as being Harry Potter's chambers. That's the way I always like to remember it. And then camarade, think of comrade. A comrade is a mate or a friend. Then we have un or une camarade de classe, and both camarade de chambre and camarade de classe can be masculine or feminine depending on whether or not you put your indefinite article in the front of it that marks it as being feminine or masculine. So un camarade de chambre, un camarade de classe, une camarade de chambre, une camarade de classe, masculin, féminin. Une classe, that is a class. Un copain is a friend, un copain. And then for feminine, we would say une copine. un copain and une copine. We can also say un ami and une amie. That works as well. Un élève or une élève, we just went over there. There was one student that was different than the other, and there should be a question coming up in just a second about that. Une femme is a woman. Now, guys, remember not to say femme. Femme is not the correct pronunciation. We want to say femme. Femme. We're going to pretend like there's an A there where that E is. Femme. I have a funny story about that when we get back to class. Une fille. Ooh, I don't want to move it. Une fille, and that's a girl. And then un garçon. Un garçon. Un garçon. And this is a cécédille here that will make that C a soft C. And then finally, the last vocabulary is un. Very nice. Let's scroll over to page 17. See if I can get a hold of that page there. It's on the 2-page viewing section. There we go. All right, so what I'd like for you guys to do now is we're going to do the chasser l'intrus. Chasser l'intrus, find the one that does not belong. Okay, and it should pop up in just a second, and it will tell me which one does not belong, or you have to answer the question. All right, so we're going to go with number 1. We've got, hang on one second, étudiant, élève, and professeur. Lequel ne va pas? Which one does not go? Un stylo, un crayon, un cahier. Lequel ne va pas? Which one? Un livre, un dictionnaire, un stylo. Lequel ne va pas? Un homme, un crayon, un garçon. Lequel ne va pas? Which one does not go? Une copine, une carte, and une femme. Which one does not go? Lequel ne va pas? Une porte, une fenêtre, and une chaise. Lequel ne va pas? Une chaise, un professeur, and une fenêtre. Lequel ne va pas? Un crayon, une feuille de papier, and un cahier. Lequel ne va pas? Une calculatrice, une montre, and une copine. Lequel ne va pas? And then finally, last one, numéro 10, une fille, un sac à dos, and un garçon. Lequel ne va pas? All right, so now that you're good with that, when you come into class, we'll do a couple of activities based on this, which should be fairly fun and awesome as normal. And then we'll get started on section 1B, which will introduce some really cool stuff about grammar. And I know, like, you could ever have cool stuff about grammar, but I promise it's true. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. See you on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when you guys are due on this one. Au revoir.